Alright guys, what's up and welcome back to more Birthright domain reviews. So we're getting close to rounding out the Heartlands finally, and we're on to the non-physical domains here. And so Heartlands Outfitters is a great one to play, and one that, if you're playing that, you might as well think about playing Endir as well, since in the story this is the other domain that's ruled by Gilder Kalian, who runs the domain of Endir, again that one province domain that we looked at earlier. Check out our video on that. So Kalian is obviously pretty heavily involved in guild activity, and so he owns one of the major players here, the Heartlands Outfitters. As you can see, they have extensive holdings, pretty much, all in the Heartlands area. So a little bit in Gore, obviously Endir itself, Alamier, Daimed, and Meadowair even as well. So that being said, there's plenty of competition in and around those other areas and southern coast and elsewhere, and certainly Kalian wouldn't mind expanding, but there are some other major players there. But anyway, so what do you get here? So a fair bit of regency generated and accumulated, although basically you can imagine he is spending quite a bit of that on his various sort of illicit activities here in running this domain. But in conjunction with all the wealth that you have essentially on the political side, if you're running Endir, the Heartlands Outfitters also has 45 gold bars stashed away, which is massive, and really only some of the other major political powers hope to even have money close to that. Now, we've previously looked at the Western Imperial Temple of Halen, so just as a church example there, and they have 40 gold bars as well. So again, major stuff there from some of these minor powers in the sense of, again, not being physical domains. So Kalian, again, we know his stats here, so he's a level 5 thief, and all that. Controls the guild activity the way he rules Endir with an iron grip. This snake-like man always keeps his enemies off guard. The Heartlands Outfitters, though not as powerful as the Highland Overland traders below, can outmaneuver that guild any day. Gilder Kalian manages to play the political game with all his rivals, going unnoticed while they turn on each other. So again, there are plenty of other players here. And as we see the footnotes, right, some in the eastern marches, southern coast, northern and western areas as well. But some of the other ones here, right, the Moor, the Straits of Aral shipping, Prince's Pride, Source of the Mazel, Upper Anweir Traders, Andean and Sons, Mazel Shippers, Points East Trading Guild, Highland Overland Traders. Again, we'll cover those guys, or I think we have actually covered those guys, but we will be getting into them a little bit more when we cover some of the other guild activities once we get to the northern marches as well, just to show some of the, again, major players and kind of start summing things up as we work our way forward. And so, again, Endir is kind of that unenviable position of being basically smack dab in the Heartlands, one province territory. You got some major powers surrounding you. There are others that are weaker, but again, it's best to sort of play that role of at least overtly neutral power while you sort of do your business here, sort of underneath everyone's noses here. And really, you have a powerhouse of a guild here, and you're kind of winning the underground battles here. But there are some weaker players, and those would be ones to easily exploit. But again, you don't want any of this activity from your domain necessarily spilling over into the political arena, where again, pretty much all your neighbors have either very large standing armies, which could just sweep through your country in barely one domain turn's worth of time if you're playing, again, as ruling in domain here, or they certainly could raise enough of an army to seriously threaten you. That being said, between Endir's treasury and the Heartlands treasury, certainly plenty of military might could be bought, or persuading maybe another neighbor to come to your aid as well. So again, you have plenty of regency and gold to spend on sort of a panic button as well if you've kind of gotten yourself into trouble. But it makes for an interesting domain to rule on top of the physical territory of Endir. Similarly, though, if you're just adventuring, it's a great guild to sort of come up in if you're going to be working for the Outfitters, and certainly can be sent far and wide to go on all sorts of adventures there. So obviously, if you're playing a thief or other similar types of characters, or if it's that kind of campaign, really does present some interesting options there. And again, sort of waging a trade war is a little bit different than the norm on a lot of campaigns, so it does make for some interesting play there. And again, you can see your various rivals there and work your way up the guild chain, maybe even gain some regency of your own and maybe do some expanding if you prove yourself worthy. So again, pretty cool little domain here. Again, really, if you're going to play this, you might as well play, again, the physical territory Endir as well, so that way you kind of double up and have a leg up on a lot of your other rivals, depending on the size of your group and everything else that's going on. So that being said, guys, let us know your stories if you have interacted with the Heartlands Outfitters or any of the other major players here in the Heartlands region. Have you found it too challenging to run sort of two domains at once, again, like Endir and the Outfitters? Or do you think that's manageable, or does it give you an unfair advantage when you have the resources of two domains essentially at your disposal? So hit us up in the comments there, guys. Love to always hear your stories from your campaigns. Leave us a like and subscribe as well. We'll be back more with one final video of the Heartlands to wrap up the enigmatic sword mage, which is one that's not available for, or actually, sorry, it is available for players. But again, lots of mystery surrounding that. So anyway, thanks so much for stopping by as always, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.